Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with another visible image card today. I got these cards a while ago. I was attracted to these because, if you don't know it, I'm a landlady of a village pub, and so anything drinks related I'm really attracted to, although I don't drink much myself. And I wanted to make a mail card for 60th birthday, and this gentleman does like his beer. So I decided to use these stamps today. It's the first time I'm using them. And I've just used some of the stamps of these to outline them a bit on my piece of cardstock. I'm using this funny colour actually. First of all, I want to use a craft card base, but I'm not brave enough to directly work on this, especially if I might decide to do some heat embossing. Sometimes it warps, so I decided to go for a different colour and a different cardstock, and it's sort of I'm not even sure I would call it a skin colour. It's not a very attractive thing, but I hope when I finish with it that it'll be nice, and it will go nicely with both the craft stock and the beer theme, I think. So I have used the stamps I want to use a bit to outline the whole thing. He'll be 60 on his birthday, so I will leave some space to put the dies in, but the rest I want to fill. I want to have this one big glass as the main focus of the card, and then I want to use these sentiment stamps. This one says, sorry, this way around, important to know as well, the best beers are the ones we drink with friends. And the reason why it was upside down is I just want to use that for some texture, so I'll be stamping that a few times on the card, and the same with the cheers. So I just want to fill it up a bit. I don't want to stamp these completely. I want them to look a bit grungy, and then I've got these bubble stamps that I want to use for some sort of visible texture as well. This is why they're sitting here, and this is the reason why I will actually use my stamping blocks to stamp these, or sometimes I actually like to just use my fingers and just go over this like this, because I think that helps to not perfectly stamp these. I wanted, as I said, I wanted this to look a bit grungy. So I'm going to start from this, and the first thing I'm going to do is stamp this down, and I will also just very lightly with my pencil mark where the 60 will go, because it's easy to get carried away when you're crafting, or I do anyway, and then forget to leave the space. So I shall mark this here, and they will fit perfectly in the curve of the glass. So I'll start with this. So for my beer glass, I will use the alcohol proof die from Spectrum NAR, because whichever I decide to colour it in with later, it'll help a bit not to smudge too much. But it does mean it is a bit dry sometimes, and actually I wriggle it a bit on the stamp just to make sure it will stamp properly. I will actually just grab a piece of scrap just to make sure, because these are new stamps. Ideally, I forgot to do that. You actually rub it a bit on your skin to make sure it is stamping properly. There you go. It's not perfect, but I want this sort of grungy look, so I'm not too fussed about this. I think all the visible stamps are actually, visible image stamps are designed to look a bit grungy, and that's a sort of style of card, and I really like that. So make sure if you've got any ink on your fingers to quickly wipe that away before it ends up. And my acrylic block, by the way, is not big enough, but I just used this one and did it at an angle. But the important thing is that I've got the card straight, and I line that on my grid there, and then I can set this down and stamp it. And the visible image stamps, if you don't know them, it's a UK company. They're based in Wales, and they are very durable. It's not the cheap stuff that you get from Asia, or that, you know, comes with magazines. It's really, really sturdy stuff, so they don't wobble, they don't squash when you press them down. So give it a bit of time to just for the ink to just seep into the paper, into the cardstock, and there we go. So that looks great. So as I said, with the others, because I don't want to, I'll probably stamp this once with the stamping block, so it will look, you can read it once. So I might have that maybe even just at the top. Yeah, I'll probably just do it once at the top. Let me just find my smaller stamping block. Still got the robin on it from a video I recorded earlier, which I might be posting later though than this one, because it's for the artist trading card and I can't publish the video until the recipient has actually got it. So, and I think I'll stamp this in brown. These are not perfect for stamping actually, these elements. They're very good for ink blending, but I will use it anyway because again it goes with the style of my card. And again, I'll try it on, oops, sorry. Try it on a piece of scrap first. Yeah, that's fine by me. I don't have that many ink pads. I've only got a few of the VersaFine. I try to have stock inks that are versatile. So I've only got about 3 of the Ranger Tim Holtz ones. I know people love these, but I love the Lavinia Elements inks. So there we go. So this one, the other ones, I'm going to stamp them off again on the scrap on the side, and I will do some second generation and third generation stamping. And I'm getting another, sorry, I'm just reaching over here, just getting some scrap paper to go underneath. Let's get this out of the way. I don't have much workspace at the moment, admittedly, because I've got loads of craft stuff here on the other side. But I had half an hour to spare and I thought I'd quickly do this card and film it whilst I'm doing it. So now I want the Cheers stamp, which I've lost already. There we go. If you are like me and you lose stuff on your desk, you know what I'm talking about. So this one I'll go with a bit of yellow. Again, I want this to be legible ones. So I'm just doing this at the bottom and then do some second generation stamping there. I'm starting to overlap things. Oh, I'm going off screen a bit there. Let me just move this out of the way. And now all I'm looking at is where do I need to add some colour. I think I'll do another one here. Yeah, and I'll probably put something in the corner, but I might just use the bubble stamp there. So what I don't want to do with that is I want to introduce another colour. I do have some Vintage Photo, it's called. That's one of the Tim Holtz ones. Just go grab that. Which is another brown. I find it a really versatile brown. So yeah, Vintage Photo it's called. The other one, by the way, that was Elements, Lavinia Elements Truffle, and the yellow was the Elements Sundance. So again, doing it on a bit of scrap there. This probably needs re-inking, but again, as I said, I'm going for this grungy look, so I'm not too fussed about this. And I will go behind the bits where I'm going to put the die cut 60 as well. I love these visible image stamps that just give a bit of texture. I think they're fabulous. I could do a whole background with these. Yeah, I like the look of this. What I do not like is the skin colour. So what I'll start doing now is I'm going to ink blend on the background, and I will also do some ink blending on the beard. So I'm getting my brush out. the brush I use for my brown, and I think I will just use the vintage photo there and just start going over the cardstock. Yeah, that is so much better. And I don't mind it being very uneven because it goes again with this sort of grungy look. Makes it makes it look vintage. That's what the colour is for. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the darker brown, the truffle, to go around the edges. And as you can see, I'm just using the same brush. I don't have different brushes for all the shades in my collection. This works fine for me. And you can see how instantly this transforms the look of the cardstock, of the colour of the cardstock. Yeah, I really love the colour now. But I've got the advantage by starting with a lighter colour, just again to show you the comparison. I've still got the light bit here, so it's not too dark, because if I chose a darker colour cardstock, that would disappear a bit. But I'm just going to use a bit of the yellow now to colour in the beer. So the beer glass, or the beer in the glass. So again, just ink blending. I will actually, rather than using my big brush, I will actually use my dauber. Again, this is the only collection I have of daubers, one per colour. So I think this is the yellow one, and that'll do me. So just inking that up, and then very lightly I'm just going to colour this in. It's a bit easier then to get the precision with this. And because the stamp already gives some sort of texture and shading, I don't need to bother about that too much. I will maybe go in with a bit of the vintage photo on the side just to give it a bit more shading, but I don't really need to do that. And that's great about these stamps. So let me just find my brown. Oh, there it is. There you go. We'll probably go in with the yellow bit again and just try to blend that a little bit, but not too much. There we go. All that's left for me to do now is to erase the pencil lines. I should have done that earlier actually. I need to find my eraser on my desk. And to add the die cut of the 60, and then this goes on the craft cardstock. Yeah, a very quick and simple card. Didn't take me long at all. I'm just looking at the clock here. So with the die cutting, it won't have me take longer than 15 minutes to create the card. So a very simple and quick card for a gentleman. And they're not always easy to do, but I find these stamps make it very easy. And yeah, I really love the visible image stamps. So if you like this card, you might want to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that, and I'll see you soon. So I have die cut my 60 from this rose gold colour. I didn't want to use bright gold, but again I found this popped a bit too much. It was a bit too much, and I wondered what to do, or whether I should just choose some yellow. And then I remembered You can actually use your alcohol markers to colour in your cardstock, and this is what I'm going to do. This gives a sort of a matte look. I don't know if you can see this, and it still be shiny enough, but not as shiny as this, and it will take the edge off these die cuts a bit, and they will fit in more nicely. So I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to glue them down, and I'm going to show you the finished card. There we go. A birthday card with a visible image Beer Stamps, created in about 15 minutes. So very quick and simple. I will put a weight on this. I've only just glued the numbers down because this is coming off. So I'll put a little weight on it while it dries. So yeah, there you go. I'm really pleased with this. And I'll see you soon with the next card.